You open your eyes in the morning and before you can even move, you just know this is gonna be an anxious day. Your heart rate is already higher than normal. Your chest is tight, you feel nauseous, overwhelmed, really freaking anxious. And the worst part, you don't have time to figure it out. You've got a full work day ahead, kids to feed, deadlines, an overflowing to-do list, and now you're also gonna have to deal with anxiety all day before you've even had a cup of coffee. If this at all sounds familiar, this video is your emergency plan. This is not gonna be a deep dive, a therapy session, a real big uncovering of why you're anxious and getting to the root cause, though those are all important things. Think of this video as your SOS emergency plan, something that you can always have in your back pocket on those really anxious days where you just need something to help you get through the day. This is gonna be 5 fast, really practical tools that you can use to get back in your body. So hopefully you can feel even just a tiny bit better going about your day. These are the exact tools that I use when my anxiety is a 10 out of 10 and I still have to show up anyway. So if you are lying in bed, you're anxious and you're thinking, oh, not again, I've got the plan for you. Step 1, shock the system. When anxiety hits hard in the morning, the last thing that you need to be doing is more thinking. I promise you're not gonna stop being anxious by trying to intellectualize why you're anxious. Maybe I didn't sleep great, maybe I had a bad dream, maybe it was the donut that I ate yesterday. No, you're not gonna think your way out of this one. You need to interrupt that thought spiral physically. And one of the fastest ways to do that is with cold exposure. I know what you're thinking. That does not sound fun, but think of it as 2 minutes of suck with a really high payoff. My go-to for this is to take a cold shower. Before I can even talk myself out of it, I turn the shower on and just get in. It is so cold. It's jarring, and that's the point. Cold exposure stimulates the vagus nerve. This is the nerve that signals to your brain it's time to calm down. It works fast, especially when your system is in overdrive. If you're like, yeah, I'm not getting into a cold shower, this is another thing you can do. Fill up a bowl of ice cold water, throw in some ice cubes, and just dunk your face in for about 10 to 15 seconds and do that for a couple of rounds. You can also hold an ice cube in your hands, maybe bring it around on different areas of your face to kind of mimic that cold therapy. I think something that a lot of anxiety advice gets wrong is that you just need to calm down and relax, right? But I can almost guarantee that if you wake up feeling really anxious and you try to just put on a 10-minute meditation and sit there and try and calm yourself down, it's not gonna work. Mind and body are so connected, so when you are having those thought spirals up in your mind, one of the best hacks is to hack your physiology, to hack your body. Get grounded so that you can calm your mind down. If you get grounded, you will naturally calm your mind down without trying to just clear it and sit there and try and clear your head. Cold therapy is literally shocking your nervous system back to the present moment. A lot of anxiety is future tripping, not being in the present. This helps to bring you back to the present. It feels intense, but it works. Step 2, listen to 528 Hertz. After you've gotten out of your cold shower, you're drying off your face after dunking your head in ice cold water, you're gonna put on your headphones and listen to 528 Hertz frequency. You do wanna listen to headphones with this. It's just going to make sure it's a more immersive experience and you really get all the benefits from the low tones. 528 Hertz is just a frequency of sound. It's sometimes called the miracle or the love frequency. If that's a little woo for you, just roll with it. This is what you need to know. Sound therapy like this can literally shift your brain waves. It helps to calm the fear center in your brain and shift you out of survival mode. When you wake up in a panic, your brain is stuck in that threat detection loop. These frequencies can help close the loop, and the best part is it takes no effort. You don't have to do anything except to listen. You can find these frequencies on Spotify, on YouTube. There's whole playlists of them. Just pick one. When I'm having really anxious days, I sometimes just keep this playing all day long. I find it so soothing. They also have different frequencies that are good for focus or creativity, so you can play around and find ones that work best for you. So put your headphones on, play 528 Hertz, and keep it on for the rest of these steps. Even if you're skeptical, just trust me and try it. You don't have to believe it for it to work. Step 3, get 30 grams of protein. I know when you're anxious, eating is the last thing that you want to do, but this is truly one of the most underrated tools in your toolkit. When your blood sugar crashes, it looks a lot like anxiety. Racing heart, shakiness, irritability, that looks a lot like anxiety, right? Your body can't tell the difference between low blood sugar and real danger. And think about it, if you've been asleep for 8 hours, maybe your last meal, dinner, was a couple hours before you went to bed, your blood sugar might just be really low, and that's why you're having these symptoms of anxiety. If you want to get grounded fast, stabilize your blood sugar. And the best way to do that is through protein, ideally about 30 grams. If you are too nauseous to eat in the morning, blend up a scoop of protein powder and some milk or some almond milk and just chug that. Everybody's different when they're anxious. Some foods will give them the ick. So find what works best for you, whether that's something easy to eat like yogurt or eggs, or if it's not that, try the protein shake. You can also do leftovers from dinner. It does not have to be a breakfast food. This is absolutely a non-negotiable for me on anxious mornings. Really any day, because I want to make sure that I'm keeping my blood sugar stable so I don't have those anxious up and downs throughout the day. It's like plugging my brain back in, and I just feel so much more grounded when I'm satiated, when my stomach is full, when I feel like I've really nourished myself and I've given myself the energy to take on the rest of the day. Step 4, get fresh air and natural light. So we've shocked the system with a cold shower. We have our 528 hertz playing in our ears. We've eaten a little bit of protein, so we're feeling a little bit more stable. Now it's time to go outside, to breathe in some fresh air and get some sunlight on your skin. If you're not able to go outside, say you're watching this in the middle of winter, try just opening a window, letting some of that fresh air in. I think a lot of us can relate to anxiety, feeling a little claustrophobic, feeling like we're closed in and we don't have any control. I always find that time in nature just gives me a whole new perspective. It makes things feel a little bit more open, a little bit easier, a little bit of a reminder that we don't have to have the whole world on our shoulders. Light exposure and fresh air helps to regulate your circadian rhythm and your cortisol spikes, especially when you can get that sunlight on your eyeballs within the first hour of waking up. Even just stepping outside on your balcony, on your porch for 2 minutes can recalibrate your system. If you can go for a walk, even better, extra gold star for you. Getting in some movement is really going to help to move that anxious energy out. Movement helps to release endorphins and burn off some of that extra adrenaline that keeps you stuck in fight or flight mode. But again, if you are stuck inside, open up a window and just get that cross ventilation going. Let your body remember that it is safe, that the world is still turning, the sky is still blue, and you're still here. Step 5, use some herbal nervous system support. This is your reminder to use the herbal tools that you have and that you often forget to use in the moment when you really need them. My go-tos when I'm having an anxious morning are, of course, holy basil, my favorite herb, lemon balm, kava kava, and passion flower. These are all fast-acting herbs that really help with body symptoms of anxiety, so that racing heart, that tightness in your chest, help take the edge off a little bit and bring you back into that window of tolerance. You can use teas, capsules, tinctures, but I really recommend tinctures, especially when you're having acute anxiety, because they have faster absorption, which means they'll work quicker. Of course, you want to check with a practitioner or your healthcare provider before you start a new herb, especially if you are on medication. But if you're cleared, I find herbs just such a nice ally and additional support to my nervous system when I'm feeling really anxious. Keep your herbs on hand somewhere visible. I feel like a lot of us shove them into a medicine cabinet and then completely forget about them. So I like to have some on my nightstand, some in my office, some out by my coffee, so that when I am anxious, I remember to take them. If you are brand new to herbs, I do have an entire video on herbs for anxiety. You can check that one out next. Okay, that's my 5 SOS emergency anxiety plan. Shock the system with cold therapy, listen to 528 hertz with headphones on, get 30 grams of protein in, fresh air and natural light, and using herbal nervous system support. That would be my 5 SOS plan. But I know some of you are sitting there and thinking, but what about, so I'm gonna address some of those right now. But what about if I'm too nauseous to eat in the morning? This is so common. This is probably one of the most common things that I hear from my clients with anxiety, is that they just feel too nauseous to eat anything when they wake up. What's happening here is likely tied to your vagal tone. If you're like, vagal what? Vagal referring to the vagus nerve. This is referring to how well your vagus nerve, which is the nerve that communicates between your brain and your gut, how well it's functioning. When vagal tone is low, it throws off that signal from your gut to your brain. So your brain might not be getting the signal it's hungry, that it has an appetite. That's why you might feel anxious or even gag when you're trying to eat. These are some things that can help. Of course, we want to get to the root cause of this, but here are some things that can help in the moment when you're trying to eat. First, try gargling. Your vagus nerve runs right by your vocal cords, down your neck, so gargling can help stimulate the vagus nerve. Same thing with humming, again, stimulating the vocal cords, which are right by the vagus nerve. Vagus nerve massage, which I've talked about in other videos, but massaging the area behind your ear, behind your jaw, again, because that's where the nerve runs. And then this is more of a long-term solution, but eating at the same time every morning can help to retrain those hunger cues to come back. Again, if a full breakfast seems impossible, just try the protein shake at first. That'll help with slowly building up that appetite again in the morning. But what if this happens to me all the time? If you're waking up with anxiety multiple times a week, multiple times a month, do not take that as normal. That is your body waving a little red flag. I was like this for years. I thought it was just normal to wake up with anxiety all the time. And let me tell you, it is not. It takes a lot of work to shift your body out of that state, but once you do, oh my gosh. It is so nice to wake up without anxiety. Usually this is a sign that your nervous system is stuck in a loop, whether that's in fight or flight or in freeze mode. And when your nervous system lives in one or both of these survival states for too long, it'll start showing up before your conscious mind has had a chance to kick in. That's your sign to go deeper. Stop white knuckling it through the day and having to just live with this anxiety. Actually explore what your system needs long-term. What is the root cause? I highly suggest working with a naturopathic doctor like myself or another trained provider. You do not have to walk through this journey and figure this all out on your own. There are so many different ways that you can get support, like nervous system regulation through nutrition, healing trauma, and identifying any nutrient deficiencies that your body has. You don't have to live like this forever, but listen when your body is telling you that it needs support. But what if I've tried your entire 5-step SOS plan and I'm still anxious? There are some days where I will do this entire plan and I am still 10 out of 10 anxious. And I will say to myself, today's gonna be an anxious day, and that's okay. These tools aren't about eliminating every trace of anxiety. They're about creating more capacity. Even if anxiety is still there, you feel more in control, that you showed up for yourself and that you showed your body, your mind, that you are there to provide a place of safety and support. Some days, nothing will fully fix it. And if that's the case, I say, what can I take off my plate? How can I make my day a little bit easier? Is there any way that I can give 50% instead of 100? Can I give 10% even? Some days are just like that. And if that's the case, I usually try to get to bed really early that night so I can focus on having a better day the next day. Keep doing the basics, keep showing up for yourself. I promise you it does make a difference even on the days it doesn't feel like it. Mornings where you just wake up anxious are so hard. And it doesn't mean that you're doing anything wrong. It means your body is asking for support. You don't need to fix everything today. You just need to respond with care. You can't control how you wake up, but you can control how you respond. Every time that you choose one of these tools, every time you say, I'm not letting anxiety ruin this day, you're shifting your nervous system response. These tools give you a way to interrupt that spiral before it takes over. They're simple and they're doable. These 5 tools we talked about today are just some of the nervous system regulation tools that are part of my Mind Body Toolkit. It's a totally free guide that you can download below in the description. Definitely check it out because if some of these tools don't work for you, you can sub in the ones that you like a little bit better. And if you are waking up feeling this way more days than not, you're waking up feeling anxious almost every morning, check out this video next. It talks about why you're always anxious and why anxiety isn't just in your head. Next time you wake up in panic mode, remember this. You are not stuck. You're not powerless. You have options. You have tools. If you want to keep building and expanding this toolkit, make sure you hit subscribe. This is just the beginning. Until next time, I'm rooting for you every step of the way.